Welcome back to This is a Commander channel, where this is a Commander channel, and today I'm going to talk about Commander, Tough Rules, and Cool Interactions, episode 94. Today's episode is going to take a look at two of the newly spoiled commanders from the upcoming Eldrain set. They are similar in their design, and they are also really powerful, so I imagine we will be seeing a lot of them going forward, which is why I want to cover them today and make sure that you know exactly what they're capable of, in case you're going against them or wanting to build them. The cards are Will, Scion of Peace, and Rowan, Scion of War, and they both have an activated ability that only requires them to tap in order to activate. Will's says, spells you cast this turn that are white and or blue cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. And then Rowan's says, spells you cast this turn that are black and or red cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you have lost this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. It'll be interesting to see which of these two ends up being more popular and also which will be more powerful. For Rowan, there are a lot more cards that let you just pay life with no other costs involved, but of course there's more risk as you're doing part of your opponent's job for them by reducing your life. And of course, a lot of this will be based on the spells available to them based in their color identity, which color pair has the better expensive mana cost and X costs to abuse with these cost reducers. So now on to the three things that I think that some people may not know when using these two abilities. First off, if you gain and also lose life, that will not conflict with these cost reducers. For example, let's say you use your Treasonous Ogre and activate his mana ability twice, paying a total of 6 life to get red mana. And then you use that red mana to pump into the X of an Exsanguinate, with X equal to 2. This will result in each of your 3 opponents losing 2 life, and you gaining a total of 6 life. So you've now lost 6 life and then gained 6 life for a net of 0 life changed in your turn. But if you then activate your Rowan, your red and black spells will still cost 6 less, as his effect doesn't care about a net result of your life changing that turn, only how much you've lost in total. So go crazy with those black life drain effects and rebuild your life so that you can lose even more. The next thing that I want to note on these two abilities is that the cost they reduce is a locked-in value. So let's say that you have out a Vincer's Journal during your upkeep and it gains you 5 life. And then in your pre-combat main phase, you tap your Will to reduce your white and blue spells. You then cast Sphinx's Revelation, and you have 5 lands to actually tap for mana, and because of your cost reduction from Will, you can use those lands to pay for the white, blue, blue, and then 2 of the X, and then say that your value of X will be 7 as the spell is reduced by 5. When it resolves, you will draw your 7 cards and gain your 7 life. So now you have gained a grand total of 12 life in this turn, but your white and blue spells are still just currently being reduced by 5 mana, as that is the value that was locked in when you activated Will earlier in that turn. And now to expand on this, the third thing that I want to cover, let's take that same situation from before. You've gained 5 life during your upkeep, and then you cast a Sphinx's Revelation for X equal to 7. But this time, let's add in that you controlled a Chakram Retriever when you cast the Revelation. The Retriever says that whenever you cast a spell during your turn, untap target creature. And so you use that ability to untap your Will and then activate Will again. Is his cost reduction a redundant one, or is it not redundant? Will your white and blue spells still just cost 5 less that turn from the initial activation of him? Or Will they be replaced and now cost 7 less? Or will they be combined and now cost 12 less? If you're planning on building either of these, then it will likely be music to your ears that these cost reducers are not a redundant effect. Multiple activations will in fact further reduce the cost of your spells for that turn. So that means in the scenario that we just went over, the cost reduction is a grand total of 12 now. I know that earlier in the video I said that there were 3 things that I wanted to cover about these 2 abilities, so consider this section to be a bonus section. Way back in the early parts of my channel, in Tough Rules and Cool Interactions episode 6, I did a video covering things that don't seem like life gain and life loss, but actually are considered so. So I figured I'd mention those things here too if you're looking to make one of these decks. Some of these cards might be something you want to include. If you run any of the cards that do an exchange of life, it does actually count as life gain and life loss, whichever, respective direction you're moving. So for example, if you were at 40 life and you activate Evra's ability to swap with its toughness while it's just the base 4 toughness that it has, you've now lost 36 life. But activate it again and now you'll go from 4 life up to 40 life. And now, in that turn, you have just gained 36 life. So, if you do this and you activate it on your opponent's instep right before it becomes your turn, then you only have to pay the 4 mana into it once on your turn in order to get that 36 mana cost reduction for that whole turn after you activate Will. It's quite a really cool trick. For Rowan, you could also use those cards that let you swap life with another player, and if they're at a much lower life than you are, then you will get a big reduction in the cost from Rowan. Anyhow, that's all I've got for today's episode. As always, I hope that all of you have found this video to be entertaining at least, and I hope that a few of you have even learned something about the crazy rules in this great game of Magic. Have a good one. Ta-ta!